All right, this is our dip and slip running style, okay? This is the way we run, especially in the open field. We do this drill to start every camp, whether it's spring practice, whether it's fall camp. It gives everybody on the offensive side of the ball an idea of how we want to run and how we want to attack defenders, both as a blocker and as a runner. You'll see here, as it says, in an effort to beat the defensive pursuit, the blocker and runner must attack the defenders from inside out. Okay, this is not a stretch and cut mentality, as you can see here. Everything is inside out, okay? The blocker, you see at number 2, they want to get on the defender, okay? They need to get on the defender as quick as they can. We do not want to hesitate. The faster they get on the defender, the easier it will be for the runner to see what that defender is going to do, okay? If he cannot get the ball outside, we must be willing to cram the ball and get 3 yards. Anytime we can cram the ball and get 3 yards, we'll take it and we'll move on to the next play. Okay, for the runner, all right, he wants to attack the block or defender inside out, okay? The blocker knows that he's running on his inside leg, so he knows where the runner's going to be. He needs to attack the defender inside out. We just want to put our hat right across the sternum. You'll see here in a minute. Okay, as the defender, as the runner comes up to our blocker, he wants to dip with his inside leg. Okay, if the defender bites inside, then he's going to slip outside to the green grass like it says right here. As we dip and the defender sets the edge, he'll just cram it. If we get 3 yards, we'll take it. Okay, we don't want to ever cut back into the pursuit of the defense. Here's a couple clips. And before we do that, we'll show you the drill here as we set it up. So you'll see the runners at the bottom of the screen here that we usually start with our running backs and tight ends there. The O-line stays in those two groups right there. There's a blocker and there's a defender, and the receivers start as the next set of blocker and defender, and the quarterbacks are at the end of the drill, okay, and that's the last defender that the runner attacks. Okay, so as you'll see here, the runner is going to start on the whistle. Okay, the runner starts on the whistle. He's attacking the inside leg of our blocker. The blocker is coming from inside out with his hat across. If the defender gets greedy and tries to knife inside to make the tackle, we want to dip with our inside foot and slip outside. Now the key here is once we slip outside, we get north right now. We don't want to keep running to the sideline. We want to conserve space. We want to get north-south. We want to get as many yards as possible once we make our cut. So as he attacks from inside out, the blocker knows he's inside out. So as long as he's just thick enough where the defender can't knife free up inside to make the tackle, the runner will make him right. The key here, which was nice, is that the blocker is getting on the defender fast, and the runner is able to see the choice of the defender, how he wants to try to make the tackle. So here he comes inside, so we dip, get outside, get north. Comes up to the next defender. Defender does a great job of running through the block. Okay, you can blow a whistle here to let the blocker know to start. Okay, once he goes, he's inside out. If the defender stays outside, then we'll foot press and stay inside. And when we attack the last defender, which is the quarterbacks here, if he stays right there, we want to attack him. And we want to give a good rip or a stiff arm at the end there. We don't want to, once we go by the last set of blocker and defender, we don't want to run out to the sideline. We want to conserve space always in this drill. You'll see another example here of the defender running. The runner attacking the defender and blocker on the inside. The defender sets the edge, so the runner comes up inside. All right, as the blocker comes for the inside leg of the next, as the runner comes for the inside leg of the next blocker, the defender comes inside. Now the blocker does a great job of running through the block. Get on the block. Don't hesitate. Wait to see what he's going to do. Run through him. Make him make a decision. He decides to slip inside. Then we want to dip and then get north right now. What the runner should be doing right now is attacking the last defender. Don't keep running to the sideline, because once you make contact with the last defender, you don't want to catapult and get out of bounds too soon. You want to attack the defender So if you do use a stiff arm or rip move and catapult yourself towards the sideline, you might stay in bounds. You might get a couple extra more yards. Don't just run to the sideline. Get north right now. And end with a good finishing move. So right here is a good example. Coming up on the inside leg, the defender comes inside to make the tackle. We dip, we slip back outside. Now get north right now. That's the one thing that the runner could be doing a better job of, is just getting north, conserving space. You want to get north-south as fast as possible. This pursuit is coming. So if you do dip and slip outside, get north right now and attack the next defender. All right, one thing we'll do every day on the offensive side of the ball is we'll do a ball security circuit. And we'll change up our drills as much as possible, but everybody is going to go through the circuit besides the O-line. The O-line will do an individual period, but every other position on offense will go through it. The way we hold the ball is what we say high and tight. So you'll see here the runner has the ball in between his index finger and middle finger, okay? His forearm is pressing against the ball, and the ball is against his chest. We call that high and tight. We get it tight against our chest. We don't want to swing the ball like you do when you run. When you run, you swing your arms. We don't want to swing the ball arm. We want to keep the ball tight. We don't want to be able to see the ball from behind. If you're a defender coming to make the tackle, we don't want to show them any bait as far as the ball. Okay, now, one of the things that's hard to do is when you're holding the ball in the open field, is when you're using that off arm, whether to stiff arm or to brace your fall, the natural tendency is to keep the ball away from your chest. So the biggest thing here is just trying to keep the ball squeezed against your chest while also using your off arm and running over bags and whatnot. So the first drill here is what we call an L drill. And as you see here, we'll go 2 steps over the bag. Okay, we'll stiff arm the bag while we're going over the other bags, and then when we finish, okay, we want to finish. Anytime we get into traffic, we want to put 2 hands over the ball in traffic. And a lot of times fumbles not happen because you're not holding the ball high and tight, but because you have too high a pads. We want to get low pads, especially in traffic. Get low pads. Get 2 hands on the ball and get your pads down low. Doing a decent job here as we stiff arm, keep the ball tight. Now we'll add another coach in there to try to rip the ball out as they're coming through. You swing the ball a little bit too much on that first one. The biggest thing is just keeping the ball squeezed against your chest while you're giving a stiff arm, while you're moving your feet. And then when you get in traffic, pads over the ball, low pads, eyes up. We'll also switch the ball into the other arm. So now you're getting a defender hitting you with the ball in your near arm. Here you want to get your pads down over the ball. Our next ball security drill here is what we call monkey rolls. Okay, one of the things that's a tendency to do is when you're going down to the ground is to brace your fall with both arms. It's only natural to brace your fall when you're falling down, okay? We talked about keeping the ball high and tight, the ball tight against our chest, all right? If you're going to use any arm to brace your fall, it's your off arm. So here, it's not only going down to the ground, but also coming back up off the ground. We stress not ever having any air between the ball and your chest. So right here, you see to the left, the first runner helping himself up. There's a little bit of air there. We don't want any air at all. Keep that thing squeezed against his chest, and on his way down, he wants to keep it squeezed against his chest too. The runner to the right does a decent job of keeping the ball tight as he's getting up, as well as going down to the ground. Keeping it up high and tight the whole time. And that's the emphasis of the drill. Okay, we're jumping over and we're rolling over each other, but the emphasis is keeping the ball squeezed against your chest the entire time, whether you're helping yourself up or going down to the ground or rolling over or whatever it might be. That is the the goal in this drill. Now, the whistle blew, but you'll see the defender to the runner to the left help himself up, okay? And there's air between his ball and his chest, okay? We don't want to do that. We want to keep the ball high and tight across the chest at all times, okay? Now here the whistle blew, but as a general rule, that's how we want to always carry the ball when it's in our hands. All right, this is our wave drill here, okay? Another tendency to do with the ball is when you're going from one direction to the other sideways, okay, is to move your arms, okay? And moving your arms sometimes gives you, sometimes you lose the high and tight across your chest with the ball, and the ball will separate with your chest, okay? So what we do here is we get a couple runners out, we get their feet chopping, and then we have them run from one way to the other. Now, when they run to the right here with the ball in their right arm, okay? They keep the ball high and tight across their chest. Then when you change directions, we want them to rip that ball back into their body, okay? And keep it high and tight the whole time. And then they'll run back to the left, keeping the ball high and tight the whole time. A tendency is, once you go from right to your left, is to have the ball kind of open up. We never want to have any air between our chest and the ball. Okay, so we come out, we're chopping them up, we send them to the right, come back left, send them to the right, to the left, we come back to the left, we rip the ball back into our bodies, like we see the furthest runner to the left here, rip it back into our bodies, and then we send them on through. Depending on how many you have, you get them out, get their feet chopping. When they go to their left, they rip the ball back into their body. They go to their right, they're running. They go to their left, they rip the ball back into their body. So here's just an emphasis of open field running, okay, not separating the ball away from your chest. Keep it high and tight the whole time, no matter if you're going right, going left. You know, sometimes when you make a move in the open field, you tend to make a move with your body and your arms. You want to keep the ball tight against your chest the entire time. And you'll also switch it up the next time around, going with the ball on the left arm. Okay, this is our seat rolls drill here. Okay, same premise. When we help ourselves up or we go down on the ground here, we want to keep the ball squeezed against our chest the whole time. You see the runner to the left here is doing a good job, as well as the runner in the middle there and the runner to the right, of helping themselves up with their off arm while keeping the ball squeezed against their chest the whole time. Okay, then we get them up and we get them in a direction. Okay, once we send them in a direction, they still have to help themselves up with keeping the ball squeezed the entire time against their chest. All right, it's a little bit harder with the ball in the right arm now to get up with keeping the ball squeezed against your chest. You'll see 20 here in the middle. Okay, he's got the ball on the ground, he's helping himself up, but the ball is still being ripped back into his body. There's no air between the ball and his chest. Then you'll send him through. The next group will go up, help themselves up, keeping the ball squeezed, send them in a direction. You'll see 2 here in the middle go down. The ball is high and tight the whole time. Help yourself up with your off arm, keep the ball squeezed. Coach will send him in either direction he wants, then send him through. Now right here, the next group, I don't necessarily like the runner to the left right here. He's going down on the ground. You'll see separation between the ball and the chest. That's what we don't want. Okay, you don't want that. You want the ball high and tight the entire time. Better job right there, helping himself up, keeping the ball tight. Now going down, you don't want to help yourself up with the ball arm here. Pop up, keeping the ball high and tight the whole time. Coach sends him in any direction he wants, then sends him through. Next time you go, you put the ball in the left arm and do the same thing again. Okay, this is our squirm drill. Okay, we have 4 cones. All right, everyone's got the ball in their right arm. You'll see the runner here going down, bracing his fall with his off arm, but the entire time keeping the ball high and tight across his chest. Okay, tendency is when you're falling down to brace your fall with both arms. We want to keep the ball squeezed high and tight the whole time. In case we're going down to the ground, someone comes up behind us, a defender, and wraps his arms to make a tackle. We don't want him to punch the ball out. If there's no air between your chest and the ball should be secure. So everyone's just going around each cone, the ball high and tight against their chest. This is our squirm drill. Keeping it tight the whole time. Whether we're running in the open field, whether we're going down to the ground, the emphasis is keeping the ball squeezed high and tight. The forefinger and the middle finger are clawed at the tip of the ball. The ball is squeezed against the chest with your forearm. Here we'll switch it up and go with our left hand next. You could always have another coach at each cone trying to punch the ball out. And go around. So you do your right hand, then you go with the left hand, constantly preaching high and tight, keep the ball squeezed as they go around each drill, each cone. Okay, when we hold the ball as runners, constantly talk about keeping the ball high and tight, keeping our pads low in traffic. Okay, we also talk about making people miss and breaking tackles. Okay, one of the tendencies is when you're trying to break a tackle or fight for extra yards, you worry more about the person you see than the person you don't see. So this is our stiff arm drill here. And here we'll be running, and in each bag we'll give a stiff arm on the bag, and then we'll have a defender trying to punch the ball out as you're stiff arming. So the emphasis here is while you're using your off arm to stiff arm, you still have to be able to keep the ball high and tight against your chest while you're worrying about the defender you see, because oftentimes it's the defender you don't see that makes the strip. So constantly keeping the ball high and tight, constantly trying to break tackles, constantly thinking about getting yards after contact, constantly thinking about getting your pads down in traffic, constantly thinking about no air between the ball and your chest. Those are the thoughts that we go into when we run with the football, and this is just another example of us trying to keep the ball high and tight while trying to break a tackle and not seeing the defender trying to strip the ball out. Okay, our next drill here is wounded dogs. Okay, you'll see here, got the ball in the right arm, keeping it high and tight, squeezed across our chest. This is, simulates us going to the ground, okay, bracing our fall. All right, one of the things you don't want to do is you don't want to get air between the ball and your chest, because that's when the defender will come up and wrap up behind you and possibly punch the ball out. By keeping the ball squeezed against your chest, you prevent that from happening. So here we're just helping on one leg, bracing our fall with the off arm, keeping the ball high and tight against our chest the whole time. Next group goes up, ball in the right arm, off arm is the left arm, touching it 3 times, accelerating out, keeping the ball high and tight against our chest. On the way back, we get the ball in our left arm, 3 hops, brace our fall with the off arm, keeping the ball high and tight against our chest. Going right arm, then left arm holding the ball, then you'll see here the whistle will blow and we'll go to the next station. Okay, last drill we'll do right here is our zigzag drill. Okay, here we're emphasizing keeping the ball high and tight as we always do. Okay, when we go to the first cone, all right, we will, as we're keeping the ball high and tight, we will rip the ball back into our body. Okay, as you'll see right here, the first runner coming up to the defender, ripping the ball back into his body. As he goes to the next cone, he stiff arms the defender all the time, keeping the ball high and tight against his body. Goes to the third cone, rips the ball back into his body, keeping the ball high and tight, and then we always have a finish at the end. Get low to high, 2 hands in traffic if need be. Pad level's key. High and tight, okay, keeping the ball squeezed against your chest, and pad level. Those are very important things. This next, the second runner attacking the last bags is way too high. That's when most fumbles occur, is when guys don't have low pads. You got to have low pads. You're too high, defender can strike the helmet and knocking the ball loose. So the biggest thing is ripping the ball back into our body, using our stiff arm on the next defender, ripping the ball back into our body, using the stiff arm, and then finishing through with low pads. One of the first things we'll do as an individual period for the running backs is we'll do stance, start, and reads. Okay, we have the fullbacks up on the front line and the tailbacks on the back line, and we'll just go through our footwork progression. Okay, we talk about our stance. We want our hands on our thighs. We want a slight bend in the knees. Our feet slightly wider than shoulder width apart. Okay, we want our head and our eyes down the field. We never want to turn our head staring in any direction. We want to keep the weight on the balls of our feet. Okay, we try to limit false steps. We want to be able to have whatever our first step to be would be our first step. We don't want to take any false steps that shouldn't be there. So the first thing we'll do is we'll get all together and we'll just go through our run progression here. Okay, here we're running a split zone action with the fullbacks going opposite the call. The back's going right, fullback's going left. So we'll say a play and a snap count, and everybody will do the footwork. Okay, now from there, right after we go through our runs on air, then we'll get a strip out, okay, and we'll give a formation and a play and a snap count. So here we got our inside zone where the tailback's taking a flat step and chasing the inside leg of the guard, and based on the technique on the guard, determines his read. So right here, he presses the heels. Okay, when we say on our inside zone, we press the heels. If you can get up in the A gap, get up in there, bend it and or bounce it. Okay, but as long as you get to the heels of the lineman, okay, that's the key on the inside zone. The fullback on the inside zone goes back door and cuts off the last defender of the front. Okay, then we'll get another fullback and tailback up there to run the play and give a different snap count. We change up the snap count to go, sometimes we'll go on a double cadence or on two, and we got to be sharp, and if we don't do it, then we got to line up and do it again. Okay, so not only do we get our stance and our starts, we mix our motions in here, and we mix our snap count in here. Key again for the tailback is to get to the heels of the lineman, here being the strip, before they make their cut. Next group will go up. We'll give them a different formation, different motion, same play, and execute the play. On air, just working on stance, start, our footwork, and our cadence. We'll give them another play with a read. Here's our outside zone with the lead back, so both backs going in the same direction. Two coaches being the D lineman, getting their read from the D lineman. So you got your stance, your start, and your read. All in one. Okay, the next set of drills we have are cone drills. When you're a running back, you need to have good feet. And we work on footwork drills all the time. And these are a few that we incorporate into our routine. Here we're just putting the cones about a yard apart. We're keeping the ball high and tight, okay? And we're putting 1 foot in between each cone. Okay, rapid fire, just putting 1 foot in each cone. You like to have a little bit of a body lean to you. Okay, get your pads down over the ball, a little bit too high up right there. Okay, 1 foot in each cone. Okay, then on the way back, or on the next time around, 2 feet in between each cone. Get your knees up, don't swing the ball like that. Keep it high and tight. Okay, you want to get a little bit of a body lean as you go through. Okay, on the way back, both times, okay, we'll put the ball in the left arm, right arm to start, left arm on the way back. Okay, 2 feet in between each cone. Rapid fire, you like to get a little bit of a body lean. Okay, next our snake drill. Okay, putting 1 foot on either side of the cone, going around the cones, not over the top. You see the feet going around, each foot once on each side. Okay, you'll see good footwork, who's got it and who needs to work on it here in this drill. It's a tough one to do it first. You don't want to be so wide, you want to be nice and tight on either side of the line right here. going 1 foot each time. It's a good job here, good body lean. Ideally, then you eventually do it with your eyes up, going around each cone, keeping the ball tight. Ball's kind of all over the place there. Legs are too wide on this one. Keep them nice and tight, 1 foot on each side. On the way back, put in the left arm, 1 foot on either side of the cone. It's a good example here. Left, right, left, right, left, right, all the way through, keeping the ball squeezed. Okay, next time we do it, then we put 2 feet on each side. Okay, so here we got right, left, right, left, right. They're not touching at the same time. They're both touching on either side of the cones, except they're touching separately. They're not touching at the same time. This one's hard to do at first. Then we'll put the ball in the left arm on the way back. We hit the cones in this one, we send you back. It's only after you've done it a few times. The hardest thing is not hopping. It's not both feet at the same time. It's each foot once on either side of the cones. It's close to a hop there. Decent there. You like to be tight to the white line as possible. We'll keep the cones where we're at. We'll toss the ball, make a cut. After the third cone, jump cut, and then we like to get north. Stay as north-south as you can once you make your cut. However you got to make your cut, make your cut. Keeping the ball in the outside arm. We're simulating going to the right here, so we keep the ball in our right arm. Make the cut, pass the third cone, and get north. However you got to get there. Jump cut and go. A little bit too wide. As soon as you make your cut, get north-south right now. Stick it and go. Receive the pitch, get the ball on the outside arm, make your cut however you got to make it, and get north. Next is our 90-degree cut. Go all the way up to the left cone, 90-degree cut, and get north. A lot of times you got to stop on a dime. This is one of your stop on a dime cuts. You make your cut and you get north right now. Get going. Still, the cones are set up the same way. Get the ball in the left arm now. Left to right, left to right. You like to get all the way up to the left cone before you make your cut. You don't want to do it too soon. It's a direct 90-degree cut. It's a good example of what we want as far as getting up to the left cone, 90-degree cut to the right cone, and then get north. Switch the cones up, now going left, ball in the right arm. Now go to the right cone, jump cut, to the left cone, get north. Go all the way up to the right cone, jump cut, get north. Like I said, this is ones where you need to stop on the dime sometime. You can't go forward, you got to go sideways. So go all the way up to the right cone, jump cut, and get north. The way back, getting the ball in the left arm, all the way up to the right cone, jump cut, get north. Keeping the ball high and tight, keep it squeezed the whole time. Okay, then we'll do our pop-ups. It's for ball security on the way down to the ground. Okay, tendency is to separate the ball from your chest, trying to brace your fall. So here we're just keeping the ball high and tight against our chest and just going down with one arm, popping up, getting our eyes to the sky. Okay, and the way back, getting the ball on the left arm. It's not a race on this one. We just want to simulate going down and popping up, getting our eyes to the sky. Keeping the ball high and tight, squeezed against our chest, and popping up. Then we'll make the cones a little bit farther apart so you can propel yourself forward the whole time, having no air between the ball and your chest. Now you can pop up and accelerate and propel yourself forward, eyes to the sky. Eyes go up, head will go up. Right, our squirm, we incorporate this into our ball security circuit. We also do it because we carry the ball so much as backs in our own individuals. Keeping the ball high and tight, don't drop the ball, no air between the ball and the chest. He knocked it over, so he's going again. We're just going down, touching the ground, going around, keeping the ball squeezed. Go back with the ball in the left arm. Biggest thing here is no separation between the ball and your chest. Keeping it squeezed the whole time. This is just a handoff drill here. Tendency is when you work on a handoff is you look at the ball. Okay, so you want your top arm, you want your thumb down the sternum, the back of your hand against your chest. If your thumb down, your elbow should be up on your top hand. Your bottom hand should be along your belt buckle. Let the quarterback place the ball in your chest, okay? You can switch it up then on either side. Coach can stand there like here, and as the exchange is being made, you can flash a finger, and they should be able to tell you how many fingers you're holding up. This ensures that their eyes are downfield, on their read, on their target, and not looking at the exchange. Okay, this is a run block drill that we use as running backs. Okay, we said in our dip slip circuit earlier, when we run block, we can be very aggressive. Okay, you can run through your defender. Okay, if he picks a side or chooses a side, the ball carrier will make you right. So you need to sell out and be very aggressive as the blocker. All right, we have a 6-point, 4-point, and 2-point progression. We talk about blocking, we talk about face, hands, hips, and then feet. So face, hands, hips, feet. Face, hands, hips, feet. So right here, we're in a 6-point stance. 6-point because you got 2 hands, 2 knees, 2 feet on the ground. We accelerate through and sell out through the defender. Falling forward, chest on the ground. Selling out. Next guys go. Okay? They do the same thing. They sell out. When you run block, you can sell out. Face, hands, and hips right here. Face, hands, and hips. Okay, now here we're in 4-point stance, so we got the 2 knees, 2 feet on the ground. All right? Our hands are at the holster. We want our thumbs up and our elbows in. Okay, when we shoot the hands. All right, we still want to shoot our hands after our face. So face, hands, hips, and then flop to the ground. Face, hands, hips here. Face, hands, hips, accelerate through, sell out. When we run block, we want to be inside out on the defender, face just across the sternum, selling out. Fall all the way to the ground. Face, hands, and hips here. Thumbs up, elbows in, face, hands, and hips, sell out. Last phase of it is the 2-point phase. We want to step at the target. We're simulating coming from inside out. The defender is on the right-hand side. Okay, so we're inside out, face just across the sternum. Face, hands, hips, and then feet. Face, hands, hips, then feet. Stop on the whistle. So you got our 6-point, our 4-point, our 2-point. Here's our 2-point. Face, hands, hips, feet. Run defender to the whistle. Next group goes face, hands, hips, then feet. Running all the way through the block. Each side go a few times through. Okay, this is something you got to work on, but you got to make a point of emphasis that run blocking, you can be very aggressive. You can sell out as long as you're thick, inside out, hat just across the sternum. You won't whiff on the defender, and the ball carrier will make you right every time. Here we got a pass pro technique drill here. There's a big difference between pass protection and run blocking, okay? Run blocking, we talked about being able to sell out, going through the defender, inside out. The back will make you right if the defender avoids you. Pass protection is a different deal. Okay, the defender's trying to get to the quarterback. So you can't sell out and whiff because he'll go straight to the quarterback, okay? So there's a couple things you got to be able to do in pass protection coming from the backfield. First, you want to be able to attack your target. You want to close the distance as much as possible. If you just stay in your original alignment on the snap of the ball, okay, the defender will see you standing there and have a good head start and probably try to run right through you. So you need to be able to attack him, close the distance so he doesn't have a running start at you. The next thing you have to do is you have to have good leverage. You got to be between him and the quarterback, and you basically got to cover him up 3/4 of a man. Okay, you want your backside facing the quarterback. You have an idea where the quarterback is. Okay, whether the drop is 3-step or whether it's 5-step or 7-step or whatnot. So you need to know where the quarterback's setting up. So you need to be inside leverage on the defender, okay? But you don't want to be so heavy inside where you give him a lane straight to the quarterback. You need to be thick on his inside number. We say 3/4 of a man. Okay, once we get within an arm's reach of the defender, we want to shut it down and punch and move. Punch and move. So right here, the first thing we do is we're in a stance, okay? You'll see a hard time there for the young guys, all right? They want their inside foot slightly up, and we're just talking about sitting in a chair right now. You're sitting in a chair with your back against the back of the chair, okay? So you want your knees bent, your chin back, your head back, your hands up, okay, ready to punch, okay, and your back against the chair. You don't want to be leaning forward. If you lean forward, okay, you'll give the defender your shoulder to grab, and he'll just grab you, pull you towards him, and either swim move you or rip and try to get to the quarterback. So you can't lean forward. You need to be able to have your chin back and your chest back and punch, and not allow him to grab your shoulder pad to be able to give him some momentum to get to the quarterback. So we're just talking about sitting in a chair right here. Just getting down and getting in a stance. Inside foot up, bend your knees, flat back, chin back, face back, and just getting comfortable in that stance. Once we get comfortable in that stance, okay, then we got to move our feet. And the thing about moving our feet is that we can't heel click. So we can't have our heels touching together. Okay, you got to be able to move your feet, because if the defender is rushing to your right or to your left, you need to be able to cut him off and stay heavy on his inside number, 3/4 of a man, okay, and cut him off from getting to the quarterback. The reason why you don't want to heel click is because if he decides to stick his foot in the ground and bull right through you, you can't power hop. You have no base to try to stop him from going through you. You have a much stronger base when your feet are shoulder width apart or more than you do when they're standing together. When you squat in the squat rack, you don't have your feet together. You have a good base underneath you, and that's how you squat the bar up onto the rack. You don't squat with your feet together. So you try to keep your feet separate, a little bit farther than shoulder width apart while you move them, okay? So if he does decide to bull, you can what we call power hop and squat him out of there. All right? So we send him in different directions, up, back, flat, and give him a rest. So we start with sitting in the chair, just getting the stance, and then it's all about footwork. Moving your feet. Moving your feet, don't heel click, so as to when he decides to bull, he can't go right through you. Here we'll simulate the running back attacking the line of scrimmage, attacking a defender and giving a punch, keeping his face out of there and his chin out of there. And when he punches, he's got to then move his feet. It's punch and move, like you're a boxer. Punch, then move. Punch, then move. Be able to cut him off in either direction he goes. So everyone will go, the back will start 5 yards from the coach, attack the coach and or next player, whoever's got the shield. Attack, punch with his face out of there, and then move. Punch, then move. Heel's not clicking, send him in any direction you want. Be able to cut the defender off from getting to the quarterback. Okay, here we'll go against the linebackers, or you can go against your own running backs. Okay, here we've simulated already attacking the line of scrimmage, okay, and having a good position with our butt to the quarterback, covering up 3/4 of the man, leaving his outside quarter free, okay. First thing we want to do is punch. Now here we're not punching, we're hugging, okay. You want to punch the chest. Punch the chest with your face out of there, and then be ready to move your feet. Because he's got a good base here, he's able to prevent the bull rush. Okay, if his feet were together, like we said, then the other guy would have better leverage, but he's able to power hop and prevent the defender from going through him. Okay, now if you stick your face in there and your shoulder pads in there, you give him something to grab. So you got to keep your face out of there, all while moving your feet. So his initial punch was bad, but he's able to move his feet on contact and keep a good base. Same thing with the next guy. You like your hands a little bit more inside, but he's got good base on him, and the guy's not able to bull. Now you got him where you want him. Now, the only thing I don't like here is that he doesn't keep his chin out of there. You want your chin and your chest back. When you lean forward, you give him the shoulder to grab, and now he's able to swim or rip and get to the quarterback. Now, this might have been enough time for the quarterback to get the ball off, but he might have gotten hit as well. He's doing a good job. You got to keep your face and your chin out of there. Your face back, chin back. Get your butt down, sit in the chair. Don't give him anything to grab. Just punch his chest and keep your chest away from him. Good punch. Hands inside, good punch. You stunt his rush. Okay? Once you punch, now get your face out of there. Now be ready to cut him off. You want to be slightly on the inside number. If he's a middle rusher, just get right down the middle. Now, if he's going to your left, we got to move our feet. We punch, but we're not moving. Now we're turned. We want to stay square to the line of scrimmage, punch, and move your feet to your left. Don't turn. Once you turn, he's got a soft edge, and he's able to get the edge. Good initial punch, then move your feet. Here you got to have an understanding of where you are. He's probably a little too outside. Don't give him a lane inside. Now, he's able to cut him off, and he's thick. Okay, he's punching. He does a good job of not lunging. His face is out of there. His hands are inside. Okay, now once the guy goes upfield and you stop him from going to your right, be ready for a counter move. Once he counter moves, as long as you're not lunging forward and your face and your chest, your chin are back, then you can move your left foot, stay square to the line of scrimmage and cut him off from going to your left. It's a very good job of punching, keeping your face out of there, stopping him from going right, then countering with his redirect by moving your feet. Now, a little bit too turn. When our butt to the quarterback. We're a little bit too turn. We'll be a little bit more square to the line of scrimmage. Good initial punch. Now move. Whichever direction he's going, that's the foot that's got to start moving for you. Move your left foot. He's starting to cross over with his right foot. Good punch. Now move your feet. Don't give him anything to grab. Keep your chin and your chest out of there. Good stop on the initial rush. Now just get your face out of there. You want to sit back. You don't need to drive block him. He'll come back to you because the quarterback's behind you. You do not have to go chase him. Once you get your initial punch, then get your face back out of there, and you're able to play keep away between him and the quarterback. Okay? Any drills that you do with footwork, attacking the line of scrimmage, punching, getting your face out of there, moving your feet, not crossing over, keeping a good base, and then be able to ready to do it against one-on-ones with the linebackers. Okay, here we got an alley tackling drill. Okay, here it is against the linebackers. We do it against each other. We talk about sideline running. Okay, we talk about if we can beat a man with speed, we'll beat a man with speed. Okay, if we can't beat the man with speed, we want to attack the defender. Okay, to give us the ability of a two-way go, to use a stiff arm to catapult ourselves down the sideline. If we just run straight for the sideline, we're not going to be able to beat him with speed. Once we stiff arm, we're going to go right out of bounds. So if we can't beat the defender with speed, we want to attack him and give ourselves a two-way go. Here now we're telling the defender and the runner, though, that the runner only has from the numbers to the sideline to make a move. Okay? So here, if you once you get the pitch, he realizes he can't beat him with speed. We want to square him up, and then you just got to make a move. Here's good ball security as far as ripping the ball back into our bodies. Okay? Making the move and getting north-south. All right, if we can't beat him with speed, we want to attack. We use a stiff arm. If we're able to break that tackle right there, we've conserved ourselves some room on the sideline where we can now stick our foot in the ground and get north and stay in bounds. If he just ran straight to the sideline knowing he couldn't beat him with speed, then he would use that stiff arm or that shoulder rip there and go out of bounds. Now here he's just got to fight to get back north and stay in bounds, understanding where he is on the field. Don't run out of bounds. Once you make your move, fight to stay in bounds. Better here. Getting a little acceleration down the sideline. Use that off arm though. Stiff arm, do something. Now you stay in bounds though down the sideline. We want to keep the ball always in the outside arm. Here we don't want to be switching it. We want to keep the ball in the outside arm like the last picture so you're able to use that off arm in case you do have to stiff arm or rip. We always want to protect the ball by placing it in the outside arm because the defenders are all inside. The sideline will not make a tackle. Okay, the sideline can't strip the ball. The defenders from the inside can strip the ball. So always keep the ball on the outside arm. Okay, if we can beat a man with speed down the sideline, we'll beat him with speed. If not, we want to square him up, try to give ourselves a two-way go. Okay, all the while keeping the ball on the outside arm while making our move.
Play polish. So play polish, we're going to have two groups going at the same time. Okay, we want to try to get as many reps as we can. Okay, we're going to get our polish with our running back. We're going to be working, our power steps, our inside zone, our stretch, all of those different things, our counter. And we want to make sure that we work those with great fundamentals. Driving back, getting the ball back to the back as deep as possible. Okay, using our offhand and our belly. All right, and making sure we extend the ball. We also want to make sure we drive off our the proper foot to make sure that we get back away from the center. Okay, that's something that we're always working on. We really need to keep improving on that right now, all right? But you want to make sure you have mental weight on the other foot. So, for example, we reverse out on our power, okay? So if it's a power to the right, he wants to make sure that he's got his mental weight on his right foot so he can reverse out. Okay, there's power right there. He kind of steps under himself. Okay, he drives out of it pretty good, but he kind of steps under himself because he reaches with his toe. He does seat the ball to his belly quickly, which is nice, and then he extends. He does a nice job with the offhand in the belly, okay, and then hands up selling the fake. We want to be great at selling fakes. Okay, we want our play action pass to be a big time part of our game. All right, here's another look at it. Now, we're trying to give him the midline. Okay, right here we're not. We're just pivoting. We're not driving out. We're too high. Okay, and we need to make sure that we give the running back the midline here, and that's why he almost hits us. Okay, so these are the type of things why we do this camera angle on this drill, so that we can really teach the quarterbacks, their steps are off and how much it affects the rest of the play. You can see two groups are going at once, so you're constantly got people moving in all directions. Here it is again. Now, again, a little bit of a step under, but definitely giving the guy the midline, and then quickly getting our head and eyes around for the fake to fake a play action pass. Nice job with the offhand. If a quarterback is struggling with his offhand, I'll tell him to actually grab his jersey, okay, and that'll keep his offhand in. So there's a poor offhand right there. So right there, everybody in the world knows what's going on. Need to be lower, play with bend in our ankles, our knees, and our hips, and keep that offhand in the belly. Okay? Also, want to drive back and get that ball back to the guy as soon as possible. The running back's a little tight here, okay? And the quarterback isn't driving back, so he's not going to give him enough time to make his proper cuts. Okay, here's a look of opening to it on an inside zone and booting away. Okay, we talk about quick feet through the fake. Okay, quick feet through the fake and accelerate head and eyes out of it. Quick feet through it, accelerate head and eyes out of it. Okay, now we're setting up. Okay, we still want to drive, so all of our mental weight should be on our right foot here. We don't want a false step. You see both guys false stepping because they have their mental weight on their toe and not on the inside portion of their foot. So all their mental weight should be on their right foot, just mental weight so that they don't tip off where they're going. The last couple here from shotgun. Okay, we got the quarter turn. You can add a coach that would be a read. If you have it, we'll do that as well. We'll actually read them. We'll have a coach be the read guy because we know exactly what we want to give them. Okay, we want to make sure that we accelerate quickly out of this thing. Okay. A lot of times I want to be where the read is so that I can see how he's putting it in the belly and I can see his eyes and his demeanor. Now this one we want to stay square so that we don't cut the running back off. So each time we're trying to teach something else. Here he wants to stay square and then accelerate out. Accelerate out. If they don't accelerate out on these fakes, they'll get up downs, they'll get push-ups, things like that. But you really want to be kind of over the top here so that they can make sure to do it in games so they're not sloppy and lazy in games.